today I want to show you the exact steps that I would take if I would have my social media accounts at zero right now. How I would start to sell something. And if you're there wondering who the fuck is this guy in front of me, I'm Vlad. I've been a photographer for more than 12 years, and I decided that I don't want to spend my time photographing for other people. I don't want to be hired. I want to travel the world, photograph whenever I would like and whatever I would like, and that's it. And to do that, I started my business selling my knowledge through digital courses, digital products, communities, groups, and so on. And today, if you're at zero, like zero, you just started from scratch, in the next 10 minutes, I'll show you how I would position myself and how I would go further on with this. And so the first thing that I would do, I would split the content in two parts. One would be B-roll. And I won't go right now into in depth and tell you what B-roll is and so on. The way I could explain this, the easiest way is, if you're a photographer, ask someone to take a video of you, a video that is 6 seconds, 7 seconds long, while you're photographing something, or while you're walking with your camera, or while you're changing the lens. If you are in the fitness niche, and if you're doing something in the gym, then ask someone or put the phone on a tripod and film yourself while you're working out in different angles from different positions. If you're a designer, film yourself while you're sitting at a desk and you're designing something, put the phone on a tripod and then start working on something and then change angles and keep doing it like this. It doesn't matter in what industry or niche you are, you need B-roll. And I just explained what it is. What happens with this one is usually that you're having a 6 to 7 seconds video. Now, the first thing that I would do is to have a strong hook on screen. So if you're, let's say I am right now, I would have a camera and I would photograph something and I have the video, I would position a hook at the top of the screen and I would try to focus on that hook to be something that is a pain point in that specific niche that I am. So to give you an example here, how I do with my content, I'm selling a color grading manual. And because of that, my hooks are usually something like, if you don't know how to color grade, or if you don't know what the colors are provoking as an emotion, or if you don't know how to combine colors, that's the hook that I use. Or better said, these are the kind of hooks that I use. Now, you have the hook, and in the description, you have a lot of information, a lot of value on that specific topic. So you're not just delivering random shit. You're starting with a hook, then you're giving a lot of value in the description, and at the end of the description, you have a CTA that basically says, hey, if you want more info on this specific thing that I just said as a hook or that I just discussed, comment X and I'll send you Y. And usually you want to do this as fair as possible and as honest as possible, and don't try and be like, hey, I'll comment this and I'll send you that, but then they don't know if it's a paid or not paid and you're vague. If it's a paid product, I would say comment this and I'll send you more details about the product. And the first thing that you do in the DMs when you're sending them the DM, the first thing with the message, you want to say, what is the price? You want to say what's the price because then whoever goes forwards on your website, you would know that that's a lead that is qualified. That's a quality lead. Someone that knows already what's your price and that it's a paid product. So they're not expecting once they're reaching your website to have something that is completely free and then they'll click off, because you don't want these type of leads. You want leads that they know everything. They know what to expect. They reach there and you want them to buy. And so this is what I would do as a B-roll, as content for B-roll. And now I want to show you that this still works. This is a reel that I have posted, the one in the middle. It has 291,000 views. This is a piece of content that I did maybe some weeks ago, and it worked like a charm. And then you can just reuse it. The second type of content that you can do is talking about your product or talking about something that is related about product. Now, I'm going to go one step back and I'm going to tell you how I'm doing it, because I think for me, usually when someone gives an example, I can apply that example to whatever I'm doing. So what happens here is, if someone's coming, I'm selling the color grading manual, and I would say, if you have no clue how to color grade your images, use this. And then I'm talking about complementary colors, let's say. I'm talking about something that I have in my color grading manual. I'm demonstrating how that thing from the color grading manual works. And then in the description, I'm not saying anything about the color manual in the video, as in talking about it. But in the description, then I would say, comment this and I'll send you that. Comment color and I'll send you more details about the color grading manual. This is one type that I would do. Now you can alter this in many ways and update or upgrade or however you'd like to do it. The whole idea here is that you demonstrate that the thing that you're talking about and the thing that you're having in your product works, so that you're creating a proof for the product. Now you can also do something like the same type of talking heads and say something like, hey, if you don't know how to color grade, in the next 2 minutes I'll show you how you can do it easily. And then you talk about something, let's say analogous colors, and then you explain what analogous colors are in Lightroom or in general or in a specific tool or whatsoever, and then you refer to the manual or to the product. So how this would be something like, if you don't know how to color grade, I'll show you in the next 2 seconds or 2 minutes or whatsoever. And then you say, in the color grading manual on page 50, I'm referencing to the complementary color grading. This is shown as follows. And then I show how that specific feature, that specific piece of value from the product that I'm creating applies exactly. So if I'm having something like hook, and then I have value, and then that value, I refer it to where it can be found in the color grading menu. So that value can be found somewhere in the color grading manual or in the product at page X. So you would say something like, hey, if you're a photographer and you don't know how to expose your images, in my exposure manual at page 12, it says that when you're doing something like this, you would check the histogram, and the histogram will show this, and that, and based on that, this is how you expose correctly. So you're referencing whatever you're doing and proving that that the thing that you're talking about can be found in that specific spot from your product. And that's creating a proof that your product is good, a proof that whatever you are talking about, you know what you're talking about. And so I would do these like in batches. What do I refer by batches? So this you would do by batch. Now, you just started your Instagram account, TikTok account. I would go firstly with Instagram account because you can use ManyChat for it, and then you can automate the whole process. So in batch, I would do 10 videos that I would film as B-rolls. So I'm working at a computer, one B-roll from here, one B-roll from here, one from above, one from the other side, one from the front, one from the back, what I'm currently doing. I'm gonna change this and record 10 B-rolls. Now you have basically 10 videos that you can post. Post one per day with a hook plus description, and then you have in the description we have a CTA. And this is what you would be doing for the next 10 days. Of course, you would do this once you have your product ready because you need to send them somewhere. So once you have a product ready, you'll do one of these videos per day with a hook. Now, this after 10 days, because you recorded 10 videos, now these can be reused. So reuse. Now, how would I reuse it? I would grab these 10 videos, 10 bits, and I would change the hooks that I used before. So in the first batch, I posted 10 videos. These 10 videos each had one hook. Now I would change the hooks and have the same descriptions. Afterwards, I would change the descriptions but have the same hooks. Now, why am I doing this is because I want to see which hook hits with what description. And once I know that, I could just post that one into trial reels as well. Because once you have a winning reel, you can post it so that it goes to non-followers. This applies regardless if you're having a following or not following. Because if you're not having anyone following you, of course, all the reels that you'll be posting will be getting to non-followers. If you're having followers, then you could do this as trial reels so that you can reach other audiences. Now, because I have 10 days of videos already, I would also add here to start talking heads. That means exactly what I'm doing here. I'm sitting in front of the camera, I'm talking with you, I'm having behind an idea that I just walk you through. Or if I'm trying to sell my products, I would sit in front of the camera and I'll tell you why you should buy my product, because what you find in it and how much value you get, and how the things that I'm saying that are applying for you or for my photos or for your health and so on. And so this is what I would do if I would start from zero. These 10 videos, you have 10 days of content basically. In the meantime, you can either do more of these B-rolls, so you then add another 10 videos, because if you're sitting at a computer for like 20 minutes, you can basically record more than 10 videos. And if you do this once per week, and every time you sit at the computer and do these B-rolls, you have 10 of them, basically you have 10 days of content if you're posting one time per day. If you have 10 days of content every time you sit for 20 minutes at the computer, that's your input. That's what you need to do. You just need to have 10 minutes at the computer recording yourself doing something, and then you have content for the next 10 days. That's how fucking easy things get. So now, it's your choice. You either do more of these B-rolls because you might not be comfortable with talking heads. If you find a hook that it's working and that a description that it's working, you can just, let's say you have a reel that got you more than the other reels that you were posting. So if your average would be 100 views, let's say this specific reel gave you 5,000 views. Now I would grab this one and create a carousel out of it. Meaning I would split the information into 10 across 10 slides, and then I would post it as it is. Because that means that you repurpose the piece of content that you have here, this one, the reel, that it's a winning, so that it's better than the rest. you already have it validated, so that it means you can just grab it and turn it into a carousel, and most likely that will also work. And if you want more, then from the carousel you can also turn it into a reel, as in a talking head, where you talk exactly about what happens and what you were having in the description, but you just talk about it and then you point the people to buy something from you that you're referencing to. And that's it. I wouldn't do more. And this is how easy you can start doing content and also sell. Now, there are a lot of things behind it that you could improve and do. We're not talking about this, but this is another real, that will be another chapter. That will be something else that we'll discuss about. But this is what I would do, and this is how I would start. Now, of course, you want to sell more, you want to have a proof, you want to have testimonials, you want to talk with people and improve the product. You want to do a lot of things, but you don't need to complicate things when you just start. You need to have a system that works so that you can keep up the consistency and keep doing this, because this is what will start generating a daily income. And once you have that daily income, there are millions of ways that you could generate more income from the same amount of people. You could tweak some stuff and then you have a better conversion rate and so on. These are all different videos. For now, if you just start right now, or if I would start from scratch right now, this is what I would do. I hope this video helps. Cheers.